Hi guys, it's deal review time and I'm still overseas, so I thought I'd take you on a journey as well and do a deal review from over in Istanbul. No, I'm not doing a local one for you. What I am doing is I'm assessing one for you in Sale in Victoria. Now this one was a little bit of a standout. Couple of reasons. Massive price reduction. So this was first being sold 12 months ago, around 5.5 mil. Five and a half, somewhere thereabouts. It's now looking at a $3 million sale price. So a few things about the vendor. They're just downsizing. It's nothing unusual. Just selling down some of their portfolio. Always the question, is it the right one to sell at the time? What does it look like? It is what it is. They have their reasons for doing things. This was tenanted in full by a US-based company, which we say everything's great. Now, vacancy, yes, there is. You've got quite a bit of it, to be honest. Now, is it a problem? Look, it's all relative, and I get asked this all the time. What happens if, and can I find it? It's just a building. It's a building. Now, one of the challenges that you've got is forget about what the building was, like a large company. Yeah, absolutely. Is this going to be something that you find so many people at the moment going, oh, I need that much space? No, it's not. So large lots like this, large buildings, hard standard things, it's relative, right? It's very relative to industry, to what's happening at the moment. So you take a little bit of a look at the area and go out to Sale. Sale is still surrounded by agriculture, so there's an amount of it. There is industry, there's some energy industry out that way. You've got, for what it's worth, you've got a jail out there. And you talk about industry, so it's I call it a farm is what it actually is, but it is a jail out there. Does it bring business and things? Yeah, of course they do, and it's what it is. Sale, it is big. It's a big town, and it services a very big area. The question is, what is the industry that's out there, and what would use this? And what you'll find as you narrow it down to a handful, is it something that the agriculture, primary production industry could use? Potentially. But what I ask, is it something that the energy industry could use? Potentially. So you're going to ask yourself the question and really have a look at the expanse of the area, the region itself, not just the localized area. What purpose can it serve? And then you ask the questions. The first place I'd be going for this would be state government. You have regional Victoria. They have multiple investment arms and development arms. They give you connections is what they give you to what is the need? What is the need in these areas? But more so, from an investment perspective, from a state planning perspective, what are you guys looking for? They have done so much research, they have so much information. Utilize it, right? Speak to them. Speak to them about what industries they're shifting around, repositioning, connections that can be made, all of these sort of things. Now, why would we do this? First, if you can fill it with one tenant, perfectly ideal if it works from a cash flow perspective and it works from a return perspective. But sometimes it's about exhausting options. To go in its current form, it's not going to work. But what else can we do with it? And there be the bigger question. Now, I will often say this, just because it was call it a pub, doesn't mean to say it's always got to stay that way. Hold on, I've got to shift me. Let's have a look at some of that. We also have the RAF out in Sale. So there are other things. There's some large transport companies from out that way. Still quite a big farming area. Large business run out of this. Sizable shit, like it's not a little space, right? The agent, again, not surprised. See, when things are built for a purpose, for a tenant, right? They are what they are. Halliburton was who it was. Nothing wrong with that until they leave, right? Now, it's not just industrial zones. You have coals in your building for so long, eventually they leave. And then it's, oh my Lord, no, it's who am I putting in there? What's needed here now? Like, how can we repurpose this? So does it have to be the same? No, it doesn't. But you've got a lot of space. Wow. How can this be utilised? Okay, 200 Ks out of Melbourne, right? We're not leveraging Melbourne, that's for sure. I'm heading the other way. You've got a vast area heading back in towards Traralgon and things. You've got a very big area, a very big service area. Okay, so there are your photos. Please don't get me wrong here. Sale is a good area. It's distance from Melbourne, though, so you want to talk regional, it is regional. You won't be leveraging Melbourne, but you have a very big coverage area. So you start looking at the businesses that can fit in there, that can scale, that can grow. there's definite food for thought on it. Biggest problem you've got is the agents that are going, it's downturn, it's no one's buying commercial, no one's doing anything, businesses aren't growing, businesses aren't doing anything. I don't know, it's been on the market for ages, you're never going to find another tenant like this, wah. Now, please don't get me wrong, it's not because it's sale and it's not because of the size of it, it's not because of any of that, it's just their perspective. We have this in Melbourne with agents, and then you speak to a different agent, they're going, hell no, this is who we put there, this is what it looks like, this is how long it's going to take. They're proactive agents, they're out there chasing, they're still doing things. So we see this often enough, and I say to people, please don't get hung up on what one agent says. Go and speak to 2, speak to 3, speak to 4, see what's hitting the auction rooms, see what's actually going on, because there is movement. Has the market slowed down a bit? Yeah, it's lost momentum, it's lost that organic drive. A little bit of confusion creates that. Does it mean there's no opportunity? Hell no, it doesn't. It means there's great opportunities. But it does mean you're going to have to get past the lackluster agents that are getting caught up on what's not happening organically. Because remember, they've had it very good for a while, right? So now they've got to work hard for it. And that's not a thing for some of them. Right? They've never had to do that. And don't get me wrong, the agents that are very proactive, you still want to quantify what they're doing. You still want to be checking out their timeframes to move things, timeframes to lease, to sell, to all of this. Because this is going to come down to your ability then to negotiate terms. Now, on this, the vendor's willing to negotiate terms. They're willing to assist with partitions and various different things. So you've got great opportunity. I think the vendor wants to sell, but they're there to help. I look at this from an opportunistic perspective and go, yes, it's going to take time. Yes, there's going to be some work to do, but you're in a big area. There's some really good opportunity. You've got a vendor that wants to sell and a vendor that wants to help. So, it's all sitting there. All you've got to do is work out what's going to go in there, the purpose of it. All right, now, it's going to take a little bit of work. And I say that, is it researching the area? Trust me, I would be starting with Invest Victoria. And those guys are great. Regional Development Victoria, I'd be speaking to them about how they see the area, what is needed out there, what they're driving, what it is they're chasing. I know for some areas they were chasing manufacturing, they're chasing transport and logistics. You've got good transport and logistic yards here, you've got a few of them. But it's what else? What else? There is plenty. Business is not stopping, it's not going away. We're not caught up in this, people aren't shopping. People are like, no, this is not the truth. Watching large retailers expand at 1,000,000 miles an hour, so you've got to be really conscious of information in and where it's coming from and is it quantifiable, all of these things. Don't get hung up on what the media is telling you, right? And maybe one area is struggling and many others aren't. Just want to be smart about where the information is coming from and quantify it. But those 2 places would be some of the first places I'd be having discussions around what could potentially go here. Big farming areas, could you have a DC centre there for supermarkets? Yeah, it'd be really interesting because I know just out of sale there are some packing yards, packing buildings for produce. This is for local farmers and things. But DC centre for the supermarkets, now keep in mind that if we are heading to Sydney and we're heading out, I say the back way, out through Canberra, out through this way, then potentially you've got a good opportunity for a DC centre for any one of your major supermarkets. They run produce consistently. They have DC centres, and not just for produce, they have distribution centres for a lot of things. Would say will be considered part way. You got a DC centre at Albury-Wodonga. I wouldn't rule out the conversation because I know you've got a lot of produce out this way. We've got some big transport companies like Bonaccord and that do a lot of produce. Do they all run back in through Melbourne and out the Hume? Yeah, some of them do, not all of them. It's relative to where they pick up from. But once you've got a distribution centre, that's a pickup point. And once they're in there, they like to stay sizable enough, whether it's big enough, don't know, conversation to be had. But these are some of the things that you don't have to cut it up if you don't want to, but what's big enough to go in there? What does that look like? And then can it be expanded on? What does that look like? You've got truck movement, so these sort of things are quite okay. Is it produce it's a DC centre for? Maybe not. Maybe it's something else. They're just ideas, that's all, guys. They're not a this is going to work, but it's just start thinking about what it could be. And if chopping it up is the way to go, then chop it up. but what's going to go in there? What smaller businesses are going to go in there? And you're going to have quite a few smaller ones. So let's start thinking about that and see what's actually going on in Sale and the surrounds and who would take it on. So this was a good look in because of a big price reduction. So you've got a good starting position there. Agents have got anywhere from $30 to $160 a square metre. Now, come on, that's a big range, right? I'm going to go $30 a square metre could be your hard stand. It could also be the fact that it's size and they're flat agents that are just, there's credible data out there that you can compare to. It's just speaking to better agents. That's all it is. I think there's opportunity. Yeah, look, I do. I think there is, but it's not going to be quick. This is going to be the thing, right? This is going to take time, so you're going to have to factor it in. If the vendor's prepared to cut a deal and they're downsizing a portfolio and they don't need the cash up front and they can give you time and they can work with you, no. There's potentially good opportunity here, potentially very good opportunity here. There's multiple things that could go on this if you decided to have a mini development, what it is. But what I wanted you to do was just start thinking differently, all right? Give some consideration to what else? What does it look like? Right? What could I do with it? Who would I speak to? What questions would I ask? How do I quantify that information? Right? So it's educated decisions. It's understanding an area. Those conversations with Invest Victoria and the council and Royal Regional Development, these sort of places, like, they have so much information that's not funny and quantified information. They spend a lot of money on researching about the whole regions. So don't just ask them about the area, ask them about the whole region. Ask them about what's expanding with the RAF. I know there's work being done up there. There's been other people looking at projects up here and a lot going on. There's some bigger business coming in. So don't rule it out. Anyways, that's all on this one for me. Again, keep me posted. Would love to know if anyone even considers looking at this or using it as a reference point to hone in their skills of speaking to governments and councils to find out what's going on. Anyway, as usual, keep me posted. Would love to hear any comments around this, whether you look at it in more detail or not. Alrighty, guys, that's all from me. Bye for now.